or they weren't finding any answers. But also, they were spending a ton of time researching. And I actually spoke with a woman on the phone the other day, and she said, I'm just so busy. I haven't had the time to research what to do. And that really struck me because when you Google menopausal symptoms, how to fix menopausal symptoms, how to solve menopausal symptoms, you will get 28 million results. And on top of that, there will be some ads for products, a lot of products. And I want to talk about why that can actually make your symptoms worse and waste a lot of your time. And we're all so busy, and life is short. Wasting hours of your time a week trying to figure this out on your own. But here's when you do find something that you want to try, or you hear from a friend that you want to try something, is what can happen. So first of all, we are all unique. Okay, so what works for one woman is not going to work for another, because there are sources of the symptoms that are different. Okay, so we're all women, right? We all have hormones that are definitely affected, but the lifestyle that you've been living the past 5, 10, 20 years and before then have all brought you to where you are today. So some women have been struggling with certain things. Some women have struggled with inflammation in their body. Some women have struggled with gut issues. Some women have struggled with, gynecological issues and menstrual issues. And there are underlying causes for all of those. And depending on what was going on in your health prior to perimenopause and menopause, that's going to affect the symptoms that you've had. So probably, well, they're all they're all extreme, but I often talk to women about hot flashes and night sweats. Those are two of the top ones. There's also the irritability, the brain fog, and the weight gain that is not coming off the way that it used to, or your body just looks different. And all of these are really affecting self-confidence, okay? But again, we're all different in terms of our constitution. Now, that's a word that's used in yoga's wellness branch, about what we're made up of. And what I mean by that, if you look at one person and you look at another, like their structure is different, their skin is different, their mannerisms are different. And so when we go out of balance, which we all do, based on stress, based on our lifestyle, based on what we're eating, what we're drinking, how we're sleeping, that is going to affect our perimenopausal and menopausal symptoms. So if you try, for example, and I'm not against any of these, so a lot of women tell me they hear about a supplement, okay, and I know there are lots of them, and they try it. And it works for a couple weeks, or it works for a month, and then it stops working. So a supplement is working on changing, your body and how it's functioning, but it's not treating the underlying symptoms. It can be helpful, it totally can, but I speak with so many women that it's working, their hot flashes get better for a few weeks, but then they come back. And that's because the underlying symptom has not been addressed. Now, for another woman who takes the same supplement, their hot flashes are going to get worse because their underlying symptoms were different for the hot flashes. Okay. So the same with weight gain. All right. So, so some women all of a sudden, like, they're gaining weight and they're not doing anything differently. And some women don't gain weight and they're not doing anything different. Well, why is that? Well, they're living different lives. They're eating different foods. They're sleeping different amounts, or the quality of their sleep is different. They have a different stress level. So it is not one size fits all. And it's so much easier than it was 10, 15, 20 years ago because we have so much more information. Now, if information was the answer, none of us would have all the menopausal and perimenopausal symptoms because we would have found a way to fix them, to solve them. But information is not what we need. What we need is transformation. Okay, so transformation means having the tools that are designed for you and your specific stage in life. I'm really sorry. Of course, the gardeners come while I'm doing my Facebook Live. They're in the front of the building, so if they come to the side, I might have to end a little bit early. Okay, so transformation versus information. So you can have all the information about what's happening in your life, what all the symptoms are. But if you're picking and choosing piecemeal, if you're using something that your friend used, or a colleague used 5 years ago, that doesn't mean it's going to work for you. So the how is not going to be the same for everyone. So if we think about ourselves as individuals, based on so many factors, that's what's going to help us say, well, this might be right, but maybe this right, and that can lead to more confusion. So working with someone who's worked with many, many hundreds of women to solve their perimenopausal issues, to help you stay accountable, and to help you save all the time and the trial and error is really going to be the greatest answer that you can find. And I know you're looking for answers here in the Vibrant Through Menopause Facebook group, and answers can be great, but they may or may not work for you. So I want to invite you to have a conversation with me. If you're suffering from the hot flashes and the night sweats, if you're not able to sleep through the night, if your brain is foggy and because of that you're frustrated and irritable, and if your body is just different and you haven't changed anything else, I want to invite you to a free breakthrough call with me. We are going to look at the symptoms that you're dealing with, how they're negatively affecting your life, and we'll get really clear on what it is that you do want and how you do want to live for the next 20, 30, 40 years and beyond. And that'll be with me, and we're going to get clear, and if there's a way that I can help, I'll let you know what that looks like. But either way, you're going to get massive clarity and value and know exactly what your next steps are. So I'm going to post the link in the comments below. Please book your call. It'll be around an hour, and it'll be the best time you'll spend working on yourself and taking time for yourself in your life, because you deserve it. And everyone else in your life, your family, your loved ones, your community, your colleagues, all of those deserve you to be the best version of yourself. So book your call in the link below, and I'll speak with you guys really soon.